In this video, I'm gonna give you guys the top 3 things that I wish I knew when I started training for aesthetics. A little bit of background, I've been living for 11 years, all natural, definitely interested in the bodybuilding style of training, and I've built up a pretty natural aesthetic physique. And there are definitely a lot of things that I learned now over the last decade plus that I wish I could have implemented and kept in mind when I first started. So my first tip for anybody getting started in the gym, if you're chasing aesthetics, is don't be motivated by the actual weight. Like the heaviest weight, don't try and force yourself to PR if you're not ready for it. All that's gonna do is gonna accelerate injuries. It's gonna accelerate injuries because most of the time when people are forcing PRs, they're going too heavier, their form is compromised, that's when you injure yourself. That's when you're most susceptible to being hurt. And when you get injured, it's catastrophic. Fortunately, I've been very lucky in my training style. Like I'm very cautious and injury and risk averse that I haven't really significantly injured myself over the decade plus that I've been training. And when you have the sustainability to train for many, many years without injury, you just feel healthier, you can stick with your fitness goals, and over time, that's how you get the results. Okay, so don't be married to the idea of pushing heavy weight every single time you're in the gym. Unless you're a power lifter or you're a CrossFitter, those are different fitness goals, and you might want to change your style up accordingly for that. But if you're chasing aesthetics, the good look, physique, bodybuilding, stay away from pushing heavy weight all the time. Now, of course, there is a time and a place to when you should be going heavy, but typically that's gonna be when you're bulking, when you've prepared for it properly, not just on like any random workout, okay? So that's my first tip. Don't be motivated by the weight. Don't try and show off when you're not ready for it in the gym. Nobody really cares. My second tip is to train all of your muscles, all right? Not just not just your bro split. I mean, train all of the accessory muscles too. Traps, forearms, calves, abs, muscles like that, the little ones, they make a huge difference if you're trying to create a sculpted, symmetric, aesthetic, good-looking, well-balanced physique. Nobody wants to be the guy that has a nice upper body, that skips leg day. It's like the same thing with that. In bodybuilding, you do have to be training calves. You gotta be training abs. You gotta have nice traps. It all counts. And when you're trying to create something that looks good on the eye, those muscles are very important. So don't skip the little stuff. What I did for me that works well is I would hit my main muscle, like I'll have my back day, and at the end of that, for 10 or 15 minutes, I'll hit the accessory muscle. I'll train traps or I'll train abs. Or if it was my arm day, maybe I do forearms at the end of that workout for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a whole lot for these little smaller muscle groups, but a few movements, a few sets of each, that'll be plenty enough to create this good looking physique. My third tip for you guys is to give it time and stay natural. All right, so any kind of results in the fitness space, it takes time to achieve that, whether you're looking for fat loss, building muscle, and creating an aesthetic, good looking physique. You can absolutely get significant results within a few months. For example, if you're bulking, you can put on like 20 pounds in a few months. I know because I do it myself every single time I bulk. But to get the results of having like a clean physique that's worthy of something impressive, that's gonna take years. So stick with the process, fall in love with it, make it as enjoyable as possible so you can do it for a longer time. So it makes it easier for you to stick with it for a longer time. And stay natural. When it comes to aesthetics, guys, yes, gear and roids like that, they can help you get results, but there's also a lot of side effects with it, and it compromises your health. And one thing that's always been very important to me is I want to be in this game, not just for a few years, but for the rest of my life. And when you take stuff like that, it really jeopardizes your health. And I don't think it's worth it. You can get very impressive results naturally. And also when you do get your results naturally, it makes it that much more impressive for other people if that's important for you. So stay natural, do it the right way. And there's a little saying that I thought of that's kind of related to point number 1, the first thing I said about don't go super heavy, that nobody cares about how much weight you can lift in the gym. People care about how much weight you look like you can lift. All right, so remember, it's like not about showing off in the gym. It's not about going super heavy. Nobody really cares. But when you're walking around shirtless on the beach and you're jacked, you look clean, you got this beach body, like people look at you and be like, wow, that guy is super strong. That guy must be the biggest guy in the gym. That goes a lot farther in terms of aesthetics than going super heavy and potentially injuring yourself in the gym. So those are a few things that I wish I knew when I first started getting into aesthetics that I have learned over my decade plus of training now. I hope this helps. If you guys are interested in bodybuilding, in aesthetics, building an impressive physique, or got any other questions in the fitness space, let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys for liking, subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.